Good evening, everybody. Like I said last time, I'm going to try to provide you a series of tutorials, and I'm going to talk about some of the terms that have been thrown about lately and are truly being misused. And to start with, we're going to take the most frequent accusation we are seeing these days coming from people that just don't agree with you. Fascist. Everybody wants to call everyone else a fascist. But what exactly is it? So, according to Merriam-Webster, fascism is a populist political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts a nation and often race above the individual, that is associated with a centralized government headed by a dictatorial leader, and that is characterized by severe economic and social regimentation and by forcible suppression or of opposition. So, let's take this just a look, a piece of it at a time. With this definition, we're going to take this definition a piece at a time and see how does it really apply to conservatives that everybody wants to call fascist. All right. Start with exalting nation and race above the individual. Here is one of the attributes of conservatives today. And that is the fact that we believe that the United States is the greatest nation on earth. And one of the reasons why it is so great is because we have such a high degree of individual liberty. The Constitution provides a lot of individual freedoms. We believe in these freedoms. We celebrate these freedoms. One of the greatest, it's the first one. Everybody likes to quote the First Amendment. And one of the biggest tenets of the First Amendment is the freedom of speech. What does the First Amendment protect with that? It means that if you decide you don't like something that your government is doing, you can actually express your displeasure, your disagreement. You can do so publicly, and it doesn't matter who hears you. And the government can't do anything about it. They cannot retaliate. They cannot force you to shut up. They cannot stop somebody from disagreeing. A lot of people are saying that they're trying to take this freedom away from people, calling people fascist. People, conservatives are being called fascist, saying that we're taking away their freedom of speech. But let me think about this. Since this year, the first part of this year, we had the inauguration. We put a new president into the Oval Office. Since then, we've had several large protests across the country in many cities, large groups of people, and they are expressing their disagreement or displeasure with this current administration. I've not seen any police or military force or even a paramilitary force go in there to stop these people. Nobody has gone in to shut them down. No organized force has gone in to shut them down. No one has been arrested for speaking out. You had some people get arrested. But those people, they were committing criminal acts. They were vandalizing, looting. Yes, you had some people go out there and offer a counter protest, but it was not any sort of organized force forcibly stopping the protesters. What's the next element of that definition? A centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader. Everybody wants to say that Donald Trump is a dictator. And why is that? Because he has issued some executive orders. There have been a lot of executive orders issued over the past 250 years. Every single president has done so. They have been used a number of times. Typically, they are used with the objective of putting something into action immediately while waiting on Congress to act to actually provide legislation for a new law. Sometimes it is just to reinforce existing laws. Other times it's just to, you know, reinforce policy with executive agencies. There have been a few exceptions. Whether y'all realize it or not, back in the 40s, it was by executive order that they created internment camps in the United States that Japanese Americans, anybody in this country of Japanese heritage, regardless of your citizenship status, was sent to these camps. That is one of your exceptions where, yeah, an executive order did take away people's freedom and liberty. Side note, that was signed by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And in case you all are wondering, and you can look this up, he was a Democrat. If you also think about it, there have been another number of presidents issuing executive orders that did just the things I explained. They reinforce existing law, reinforce directives to executive agencies. Nobody seemed to complain when the president issuing these orders belongs to the party that you want to agree with. But no, because as this particular president, you want to call it him a dictator. Some of you want to talk about immigration enforcement. ICE. ICE is going out there, they're finding people who are in this country illegally, they're gathering them up so they can be deported. They are not supposed to be in this country. They did not go through the proper legal process. And they need to go home. And you are telling me that he's a dictator because he is enforcing the law? You have officers, federal agents out there trying to enforce the law. You also have elected officials, Democrats, leftists, whatever you want to call them, liberals. They're out there, they're doxing ICE agents. Agents who are doing their jobs and upholding the law. Then y'all want to complain because they have to wear masks because you all doxing them out. And because of that, you also have other people, they're actively trying to warn people if they know ICE is coming to warn these people so they can hide. You got other people want to take even more extreme measures. Tow truck driver comes along. ICE is in the middle of stopping and collecting somebody. Yes, it's an unmarked car, but they have the lights, blue and red lights flashing in the grill. Very easy to tell it's some form of law enforcement. Guy figures out it's ICE. He takes his tow truck, he hooks it up, and tries to tow an ICE vehicle away. Why they're wearing masks? But you want to say this is a Gestapo? No, this is actual law enforcement. They are enforcing U.S. law. I'll keep complaining that the law is not fair, but you do nothing to change it. Y'all don't even think about the national security implications, but I digress. This does not make him a dictator. This makes him a president doing his freaking job and enforcing the law. Democrats out there, you want to pine more for the freaking criminals than for the people you're supposed to be taking care of and supposed to represent. Who is the dictator now? Let's look at the next element of that definition. Characterized by severe economic and social regimentation and forcible suppression of opposition. Y'all want to talk about conservatives. Forcible suppression of opposition. What is the one thing that's going to come up? January 6, 2021. Possibly, it could be an example of forcible suppression and done by conservatives. And you are correct. That was a very sad day. Forcibly entering the Capitol. Breaking windows, property damage. That was wrong. Yes, there were some people who were on the right who were a part of that. I'm not going to try to deny it. It was wrong. It was unlawful. It was uncalled for. But this was not an action done by any government official or agency. And this was not even representative of a majority of conservatives out there. Did you hear any elected Republicans or any conservative publicly giving a loud outpouring, trying to say, explain away what happened that day? Or say they are misunderstood, or anybody trying to explain away the actions of these people that did this thing? Personally, I haven't heard it. If anybody has an example, please let me know. Show me. I'll pull a retraction if you can show me the freaking proof. On the counter side, let's take a look at the whole previous summer. 2020 was a lovely year, wasn't it? You saw large, very massive, and destructive riots happening all across the country. Rampant looting, property damage. Seattle, Chicago, New York, a lot of cities dealt with this throughout this summer. Everybody keeps insisting it was a protest. Oh, maybe it started that way. And then turned into a riot. Widespread crime, a lot of looting taking place, businesses being busted into, merchandise being taken in. Y'all wonder why things are more expensive now. What did I hear from the left during this whole process? You kept trying to say, oh, it's mostly peaceful. Even news reports sitting there, mostly peaceful, as he's standing in front of a burning cop car. You had police out there. They wanted to stop the rioting. They wanted to stop the looting. They wanted to stop the destruction. They wanted to stop the chaos. You had elected officials, Democrats running these cities who were telling them, stand down, let them alone. You had them taking away some of the tools that they had to try to keep the crowds under control. They were more interested in protecting the criminals destroying the city than they were protecting the citizens they're supposed to be serving. Now answer me this. Who's the fascists? Please share this with as many people as you can. Let's see if we can get them to stop using that word. Really want to see fascists? Pick up a book, learn some history. Nothing fascist is happening in this country right now. I'm not going to say I never had. I haven't taken that close a look and really looked at it with a critical lens. I'm just looking at now, what is happening now in these past 10 years, 15 years, however long it's been. Good Lord. So they've decided that this is going to be their hit word to go with. Calling us fascists, calling Donald Trump Hitler, calling us Nazis, whatever it is. That's probably going to be our next topic. Nazi. I hope I have made this clear for everybody. If you have any additional questions, please let me know. I'll see if I can provide you some excellent sources. Please let me know what you all think. Hit me up in the comments, hit me up with the DMs, however you choose to do it. Share this with everybody you can think of, especially those that want to call us fascists. Thank you all for your time, and we'll check y'all on the next one. Hey there, everybody. If you're enjoying this content, if I'm giving you some truth, please hit the like, hit the follow, hit me up in the comments. Let me know you're paying attention. Let me know that I'm giving you some good information. If you disagree with me, let me know where the issues lie. I just want a dialogue. Let's talk about this. Like, follow. Let me know you're out there.